What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Hot Games Only, the show where we chat about everything that's hot in the world of games. I'm one of your hosts, Ethan, and I'm joined by the co-host with the co-host. It's Hunter. How are you doing, Hunter?
I'm just doing swell.
Yeah, thank you. For those of you, I'm just going to say it up front, we just did like a minute and 40 recording and apparently people couldn't hear each other, so we just done this and we only have to do it again. So anyway, moving on. Weep Under himself, Kyle's here. How's it going, Kyle? You doing good?
Doing pretty well.
Scottish Smasher himself is also here, Jack. How's it going, Jack?
Smashing.
Lovely. Perfect. And then making his first time on the show, a round of applause, whatever. You already had it, you're not getting it again. It's the extreme play himself, Sam. Welcome to the show, Sam.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Don't worry about that alternate timeline.
Yeah, exactly. Like an ultimate timeline, you got a round of applause, you got cheering, you got woos. You're not getting it this time because
I got what I deserved, and now I don't deserve it anymore at all. So carry on.
I tell you what, we've literally we haven't done a show. We had a week off, and it's gone completely wrong. It's just going down the drain. But anyway, yeah, welcome back to
So fun.
Hot Gamers Only. We're back after a week break because we couldn't really schedule anything last week. So sorry about that. We did say on Twitter, though, if you missed it, that we're going to be doing a couple of bonus episodes within the next month or two. We're doing some extra spoiler casts. I promised both Persona and Final Fantasy in May. I don't know if I'll get around to Final Fantasy in May at this point, so hey, maybe Hunter will have to just lead one. There you go. We'll see.
On my own.
Yeah, just on your own. Well, yeah, I don't know who I'm going to talk about Persona with. I'm just going to drag someone in who's like, who doesn't care about being spoiled and can just ask me questions. That's probably what we're just going to end up doing.
Sounds good to me.
Anyway. Yeah, I'll just drag Kyle and he can just ask me all the boring questions. It'll be great.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, if you've never listened before, this is Hot Gamers Only, where each and every week, apart from last week, we come to you and talk about all the things we love in games, whether it's new or old, or a topic-based episode like it is today. On today's show, we're not talking about recent news. Last of Us leaks, fuck off. Xbox conference, no thank you. We're talking about Pokemon. Because who doesn't love Pokemon? Wow, I sure do.
Why was that so sarcastic sounding?
Probably because it was.
To be honest, because it was, and I was hoping that someone else was going to back me up here and be like, yeah, or a woo, and it was just complete silence from the crowd. It was great.
I don't know what you were expecting, Ethan.
Yeah, Pokemon.
The answer to who doesn't love Pokemon seems to be most Pokemon fans.
You've got a point. So today we are going to be giving you our ultimate ranking. We're going to give you the tier list of Pokemon games. What is the best Pokemon game? Well, we're about to tell you. There's no discussion. There's no discussion. We're telling you what the best game is.
That's it.
That's it. You're gonna listen. We'll be done in 10 minutes. It's all good. But no. This show is going to be split into two halves. We're going to have a bit of a debate in the second half, but the first half is our scientifically proven method of determining what the best gen is. Does anyone know what I've done here to make the listing so it's just not me monologuing? Does anyone want to explain this? How we work this out? Or am I going to have to do it?
I'm not good at math.
Essentially, all of us... yeah, thank you. Great. All of us... This is going great.
Hey,
all of us put...
This podcast.
Thank you. Make sure to listen to us on podcast services around the world and also on YouTube and SoundCloud.
Follow us on Twitter at GigasYT.
Yeah, why not? But yeah, essentially...
Hunter, where can people find you?
Oh, jeez.
Garbage. Told you, Sam. House on fire. Essentially, to get our list of the definitive list of Pokemon games, we all made our own list, and then we used some wacky math to work out which ones are better by giving each one a value, and there we go. And this is where we are. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to say which gen we've all determined as the worst. We'll give our reasons why, and if anyone has a different opinion on it but it ended up lower than you thought, then you can justify why you think it's better. Sound good?
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Me and Hunter are going to be pretty quiet during this entire thing because those three are the Pokemon nerds and we're just here to kind of moderate, so we'll see how this goes.
I've only played up to Pokemon Silver and Gold.
And I've played them all, but I'm what you call a casual. I play the story mode and then stop playing as soon as it's over. So yeah, big salute for that one.
Story in big quotes.
Yeah, those three people that also play Pokemon like me, I've got your back, don't you worry. But yeah, anyway, let's start off with the game that everyone has deemed the worst game in the Pokemon franchise, or the worst generation of the Pokemon generation, with a whopping how many points? 32 points, which is the maximum that it could have gotten. As the worst one is Gen 7.
We love
who wants to have the beating stick first? Who should I pass the stick over to? Who's the best at describing why they hate Gen 7?
So Alola is basically the worst region I've ever experienced in a Pokemon game. It's a series of 4 disconnected islands that you just kind of go to. There's no real cohesion to how the world is built. They tried to fix that a little bit in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon with Mantine surfing.
Damn it, you stole my bloody...
But that's just a glorified auto-scroller. You know the skateboarding minigame from Spyro 2? It's that, but worse.
I mean, it was in Spyro 3, but...
Well, whatever, I didn't play Spyro 2 or 3.
Also, the Spyro minigame's better than that.
Yeah, it is.
It's not on rails.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's not on rails. It's literally just an on-rails little minigame.
Anyone else want the beating stick?
Mantine surfing.
Mantine surfing.
That's all I have to say. I will say another thing I wasn't huge on actually in Gen 7 was just how it's just Game Freak and their obsession with just putting in fucking new gimmicks every generation. So I mean, it started with Megas, a terrible
gimmick,
and then Z moves came out, and they were absolutely over the top, absurd, busted, and I just stopped caring at that point.
Yeah, Z moves are. For those who don't know, Z-moves are basically just like a one-time nuke button as an item you can give to your Pokemon to get a super powerful attack of a type, depending on the Z crystal you're holding. And it's basically just a one-shot nuke. Once you've used it once, it's out of play for the rest of the game, but whatever you use it on is basically a one-hit KO unless you call the prediction and can avoid it somehow. Or use Protect and it does like half damage or a quarter damage. It's really just over the top and unnecessary. Honestly, we're gonna get to it when we get to Gen 8, but I think Dynamaxing was done way better than Z moves.
I wish I was able
I agree with that. Sam, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so Gen 7 was the first generation and the only generation still that they didn't do gyms. They did the Island Challenge, and it really just didn't feel like a good way to go about it. Like it kind of made it more like a JRPG where the bosses are just like one enemy that you have to fight and you beat it and it's like really easy and kind of just like whatever. Mm-hmm. Like the gyms always felt like something you're overcoming and like I don't know, it gave you more of a sense of accomplishment when you beat them. Mm-hmm. And progression too. So I don't know, I always thought that was pretty shit.
In the lore, they try to make the island challenges seem bigger than they are, but in reality, when you play them, they're just glorified hallways. That's the bigger thing. And there's only like 2 times in the whole game where there's something that isn't just go down a hallway and fight a boss. And that is one where you have to identify the difference, and one which is a trivia challenge. But the thing is, it's done so shittily that even if you get it wrong, there's no penalty for getting it wrong. So it begs the question of why even bother trying to switch it up. Like gyms, you could argue, are also just linear paths, but there's usually some kind of a puzzle thrown into it to make it seem different. And there were gym trainers to kind of mix up the formula, mix up the flow, but
and gym leaders were always like
really
the gym
leaders were also really good
characters.
Yeah, they felt meaningful and memorable. I could not tell you any of the island leaders in Gen 7.
Yeah, the kahunas and stuff.
Yeah,
I even forgot they were called kahunas.
I also forgot they were called that.
Yeah.
They're like, the whole idea behind Alola is a lot further behind everyone else. Like, this is the first time they're doing a Pokemon League, right? From a story perspective. But it feels so bad because it's like they're supposed to be like these natural gyms, and they're trying to make it feel like, oh, these have been rituals that have been done for centuries.
Yeah. So
they're trying to both do this is the first time this region has ever done anything like this, but also apparently these 8 places are also these magical places that everyone's been through anyway. So it's kind of, they didn't know what they wanted to do. They wanted to kind of do like a primitive version of a Pokemon League with the gyms and stuff like that. But then at the same time, they're trying to build this massive kind of like, oh, it's been done for thousands of years. Like, it's a generational thing, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
In terms of story-wise.
That's
Especially when it's like, it's like...
The story was not that great either overall, especially the evil team, Team Skull. They pretty much had no purpose the entire game.
Basically.
They're a
That's
joke.
kind of what evil teams have devolved to. They're just
sold the game.
There.
I straight up played the game for about 4 hours and sold it. It's the only Pokemon game that I've ever owned and just got so fed up and sold it.
I also think it's the only Pokemon game where they made a definitive version and they did Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Because when you play the original Sun and Moon, you're like, oh, there are literal gaps in the towns where there's supposed to be buildings that aren't there, and then they make this new version where it's like, oh, the buildings are here now. But it's one of those ones where it's like you play the definitive version and it still feels unfinished.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel like it's the definitive version. It's just like, oh, you're missing things in a different way to what the original was missing things.
Can we also talk about how slow the game takes to just even start as well?
Honestly, yeah. Island 1 is such a fucking slog.
It's like a 3-hour tutorial.
There's just so many forced tutorials.
The game doesn't stop. Yeah, the game doesn't stop holding your hand till the final island. And by that
then
point,
you got
the game's
wait,
basically
what was
done.
it? The Rotom Dex or whatever?
Oh my god.
Oh, Rotom Dex was awful.
What were they doing?
It just throws quips at you every 5 seconds. Like, no, you hate to see it.
Let's talk about the starters and the legendaries, just to cap it off.
Oh, cool. Starters are big poo-poo, and the legendaries are also big poo-poo.
There's too many of them. Between the Tapus, Lunala and Solgaleo, and the Ultra Beasts, and Necrozma, that's like, they loaded up way too many.
The Tapu, the Totem Pole legendaries, I don't really like. I get the idea behind them. They're a cool idea to have each island have like its own legendary. They're fair enough, but I just didn't like them as legendaries personally. Yeah. Solgaleo and Lunala, I don't hate because I kind of like the whole Nebby thing, like the whole it evolves into this, like you have this mysterious Pokemon and it evolves into the big legendary in the end. And you kind of feel like you've had a bond with the legendary this whole time instead of the legendary just going, I've ruled over this place for thousands of years and now I'm just going to go with this 10-year-old. Cool. Which I don't hate, but like they're just so underwhelming anyway. It's just like I don't really care. Oh, and and all the Ultra Beasts. Like, are we even gonna talk about them? Like, they're all garbage. Like, I don't think I've hated them. They're all pseudo legendaries in a way. Like the game treats them like such.
Like, as Pokemon, they're really freaking good, but as designs, they're all just like a mess. There's nothing aliens. To look
I just like the noise Guzzlord makes in the anime.
In the anime, ah!
It's so ridiculous.
Very pained.
He's just screaming the whole time.
I love it. That's the only good thing that came out of that generation.
Honestly, Guzzlord's great.
Guzzlord's awesome.
And then this is more of a subjective thing, but like I just don't really care for any of the Pokemon introduced in this game.
Oh, it has one of the weaker.
I really can't remember it. It's a really slow generation as well, now that I remember.
Yeah, it's a lot more slow in terms of Pokemon speed tiers. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of like humanoid Pokemon designs, and this game went overboard with it.
Yeah. Also, we kind of brushed over the starters. I don't hate the starters in Gen 7. The designs of them.
I grew on them quite a lot, actually.
Like, I like Rowlet. I'll put it out there. Rowlet's a great design. Like,
I haven't seen its other evolutions, but on its own, I like that thing.
Yeah, Rowlet's pretty. To be fair, Decidueye's pretty cool as well. Why didn't they put Decidueye in Smash? Why did you put Incineroar in Smash? Like,
don't worry, Decidueye's in Pokken.
Wonderful, thank you. Just what I wanted.
Got nothing.
But no, Litten was cool. I liked Litten as a design, but then Incineroar just kind of it jumps the shark. Like many recent starter Pokemon evolutions, it just jumps the shark at the last moment. I think ever since Gen 6, we've had this problem where they just jump the shark to. I would never have seen that coming in a bad way.
I saw Incineroar before I knew what it was, and I thought it was a joke.
I just like how
They
Game
leaked
Freak
it.
thought they
Someone
were.
just kind of drew it as like oh, I hope we don't get another firefighting. I didn't realize that that's actually what you guys got.
Don't worry, it's not a
How Game
firefighting.
Freak were trying to
Oh.
trick
It's a
people
dark
with
type.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, they were trying to dupe people, obviously.
It's like, look at us, we're doing it again. We're so edgy.
Also, like every Pokemon game, those final evolutions of the starters did leak super early, and no one believed them at first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Incineroar was the first one to leak, and everyone was like, "That's not it." And then they were like, "Yeah, it is." And you're like, "Oh,
Don't worry, it is."
oh, cool." And then I don't even remember what even is the water starter from
Popplio.
Gen 7?
Primarina?
Oh,
Popplio.
and
That-
Primarina.
garbage. No, like it's a good Pokemon in context of when you fight. You pick Popplio. Like that thing's broken, but I don't like the design of it at all. Like Popplio in itself was fine, but then again the evolutions were a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your
Alright.
argument.
That's
That's
Gen
why
7.
Gen 7 is the worst generation.
Now that we've spent 10
Um,
minutes bashing Gen 7.
Now we spent a majority of this podcast bashing Gen 7.
We can make it 20 minutes.
Go on there. No, we better move on because we got so much to get through. This is where our opinions started to divide. So I didn't mention this, but everyone put Gen 7 in last.
Yep.
So this is where generations start to. The ones that came 7th and 6th both fluctuate between people, so it'll be interesting to hear people's arguments behind these ones. But in 7th place, it did end up by a good 2 points being Gen 1 that came in 7th. And this is where a load of people start leaving hate on the podcast because the Gen 1 fanboys will storm out of their basements in anger.
Haven't you had enough of Charizard in your fucking games?
Nah, dude.
Yeah, dude, hear me out. Charizard, hear me out.
So
Hear
me
me
and
out.
Ethan were the ones that put this one 7th, so we should probably
Yes,
explain.
Jack put it in 6th, and Kyle had it all the way up in 5th. So yeah, me and Sam will probably give a better reasoning for why we believe it's in 7th, where it is gonna be, because we're the winners in the scenario. Sam, I'll let you describe it first, because mine is very much it's the first Pokemon. They
Yeah.
got better over time.
That's
my
kind of what I'm
reasoning.
thinking too. It's the starting ground. You know, the original 151 is pretty solid, but there are a lot of bad designs in there. I know that so many people have nostalgia for them, but there is a lot of just like filler poop in there, like muck. But
Yeah.
the region is okay. Obviously, the graphics are just not there yet. There's so many bugs in that game. It's like the glitchiest mess ever. I don't know. It's just not that much content, and like that's the thing too. We're rating these. It's the full generation, so the gens that have remakes and stuff those are included. Like this gen only has red, blue, and yellow, so there's really just not much content to go by.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also like to argue that when you look at them all retrospectively, when you look back, I don't necessarily, other than Gen 7, which we just do hate Gen 7. I'm not gonna lie, there is a bias towards hating Gen 7.
Yeah.
But if we objectively zoom out and look at the timeline, I don't think I can look at any of the Pokemon games and go, yeah, that game is a worse made game because there's more content in them and stuff like that. It's just the most bare bones. It's the basics. It's the start.
Yeah.
You gotta respect it for being the start, but at the same time, I wouldn't say any of them did it. Like any of them did anything to a lesser extent that deserves it to be shut down, except for Gen 7, which is complete garbage.
The good thing with Gen 1 was like mostly that because of how catch 'em all was like Pokemon slogan and stuff, like the 151 Pokemon to catch and trade between and all that was a really good idea, but beyond that, there's nothing really to do in the game after you've beaten the Elite Four. Like legit, there's nothing. You can't refight trainers, whatever. And it's not really a fault of the game because of when it came out and whatnot. But
I mean, it shows
Yeah.
even if you like play Let's Go, which is essentially just the exact same thing. That game, literally, you can 100% that game in like 20 hours because literally after beating the Elite Four and having completed the Pokedex, there's nothing else in that game.
yeah,
Legitimately.
just
There's
shiny
nothing to
hunting.
do. Yeah.
Whatever. But even then, there was no shinies in the original.
And there was
Gen
no
1.
shinies in Gen 1. So yeah. So Kyle, I think you've got to kind of sit up on your podium here and kind of defend a bit. Why did you put 1 so high compared to everyone else?
So the reason why I put 1 up so high is because one of my friends and I, we've been doing a lot of like randomizer bingos of the game, and I've kind of started to gain more of an appreciation for what it is. Yes, it's a glitchy, broken mess, but it's a fun, glitchy, broken mess. it's such a short game, and it's really missing that open world aspect or it has that open world aspect that Pokemon has been missing in its recent generations, and it's kind of nice to just go back into this region that doesn't restrict you at all for what you can do most of the time. And I don't know, I'm also like a glitch hunter, so Pokemon Gen 1 is like a field day for me. Just getting to go in and break the game, basically make it do whatever I want. I think that's super fucking fun.
It's a solid Game Boy game.
I
it's a
agree.
Game Boy game.
I agree, but then it's like all the things that it has done. For example, because this is the hard point. A lot of people will disagree with us when we're classing the remakes with the generation that they were remade in. That's what we're doing anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's all
people
that generation had.
Yeah, a lot of people will argue the fact that, you know, we might have put Gen 3 a lot higher because it had Fire Red and Leaf Green. And because those things that made Gen 1 great are also in that, so we kind of lowered it. But at the same time, you know, you got to respect what they did at the time and all the freedom and movement that you have, and just how much it does feel like a much more open game than a lot of the later entries did.
But then you also need to look at it from its time. It was just the building block. It was absolutely broken. Special stats and psychic types were just unbalanced.
I just want to know what the hell they were thinking with dragon types then, because they just serve no purpose.
Yeah. It's just the three of them. The Dratini family. And that's
how many dragon type moves are there? It's just Twister,
Dragon Rage.
Yep.
And that's it.
And they didn't even,
And ghost types were just limited to, what, the Ghastly family?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bug types were non-existent. And that was the only counter to psychic types. With, like, Twin Needle.
But Twin Needle.
Woo!
Woo.
Yeah, let's pit that Beedrill against an Alakazam and see who comes out. Twin Needle versus Psychic.
Okay, we've talked
right,
enough about Gen 1. We've talked enough. We gotta keep moving, because otherwise this is gonna be like a 3-hour episode at this rate.
Dude, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, but I don't have the time for that.
2 episodes in one.
Yours do.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, you have to stop the recording.
I have to click the stop recording button.
Oh, shit.
In 6th place is shocking to no one, I think, even though where we place them might be shocking to people when they find out, is Gen 8. Everyone put Gen 8 in 6th. To put it into, that's our definitive list. Sam put it in 5th. Kyle put it in 7th. Jack put it in 7th. And I put it in 4th.
None of us actually put it in 6th, but it's in 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because of how the rankings worked. And also, I'd like to also point out that Jack has put Gen 8 in 7th, but he hasn't played Gen 8.
That tells
you
you
put
a
it
lot
above
about
the Gen
Gen
he's
7.
actually played.
That
You
tells you a
played
lot
again-
about Gen 7, I think.
Yeah.
Tells you a lot about Gen 7. I'm going to say Kyle, you can talk about your reasoning behind where you placed Gen 8 then, and then we'll go from there.
So, as a game, Gen 8 isn't good. I'm just gonna say it. It's missing a lot of what I feel like are fundamental things that other Pokemon games had, and this game just doesn't. It's a bland story, a non-existent post-game, which basically just amounts to build competitive teams to play online. However, I think that one of the best things this game did was half the Pokedex. Cutting the Pokedex in half was a really good idea because Gen 7's metagame was unbalanced as hell, and basically getting rid of half the Pokemon, getting rid of a lot of the overpowered stuff like the Tapus, the Ultra Beasts, the shit like that just ran amok in the highest tier that isn't Uber. It allowed for a lot more freedom in team building, and it allowed for other Pokemon to kind of get a resurgence, because in Gen 7's tier list, a lot of fully evolved Pokemon just ended up being put into what was called untiered, which means they were unusable, and that's just because of how much shit got introduced in Gen 7. They just couldn't even stand up to it. So I do think that cutting the National Dex in half, or getting rid of the National Dex entirely and just cutting it down to 400 was a really good idea. Not at face value, but when you actually look at this game from a competitive point of view, it did fix a lot of issues Gen 7 competitive had.
I mean, I think it did at face value as well, because there was inevitably gonna be a day when there was too many Pokemon to keep putting into these games.
Yeah,
Like realistically.
definitely.
And it'll make older Pokemon feel more special when they return after having a break where they weren't in the recent games.
Yeah.
So it'll make old Pokemon exciting again. You won't go, oh look, there's a Bidoof for the 16th time. You'll be like, oh, I haven't seen Bidoof in a while. He hasn't been in a game for a couple of games. So cool.
I mean,
it's nice to see
even
him.
with the DLC they're adding in, and like bringing back 100, like the 2 waves of DLC, and bringing in 100 new Pokemon or 100 old Pokemon into Gen 8 now, it'll be interesting to see how they mesh with the mechanics of the game. Like, will Garchomp and Landorus still run amok in the game with Dynamax available? So I'm interested in it from the competitive standpoint. And obviously the generation's not finished yet. Maybe the DLC will surprise us. I doubt it, but maybe it will.
This is the biggest question mark placements, because the generation's not done.
Yeah.
We only have one game from this generation, and I think everyone is assuming that there's also going to be a remake game in this generation as well.
I think the one thing I want to say, mostly to just kind of like counteract the point of having the national dex is a good thing, is now clearly I agree with it in terms of like competitively, it has helped the meta game significantly, and it is going to be nice to see Pokemon return. However, there's 2 points I'd like to make that I think also just completely throw that shit out into the bin. The thing is like, it's Game Freak. They're not going to give a fuck, and they're just going to keep pandering to Kanto for 1 point anyway. I'm fucking sick of Charizard. I'm fucking sick of Pikachu. Fuck that yellow little shit. I've seen enough of his damn face in Smash fucking Ultimate.
Oh, jeez.
Now,
here we go.
Whilst that 1 point,
Mewtwo's tail.
I'll get into my like more proper point. I want to talk about the game's development for a little bit here. Now, the game's development, of course, when it was all being announced that they were having the national dex, a lot of people were up in arms and saying, "Wow, fuck Game Freak," What was the hashtag on Twitter again? Like,
bring back nationalism.
Bring back national dex.
Also, they're still doing it.
They're still doing it.
Jeez.
Now,
the game's been out for 7 months and they're still doing it.
It was really childish of the Pokemon community to do that, but where I'm really annoyed at Game Freak specifically is how they half the decks, right? That's a good thing for development. They could really add a lot of things to the game. They did not even fucking try. The game looks horrible.
And yet we have Ocarina of Time trees.
Legit. Nah.
The wild area does look awful.
The wild area looks awful. The fact like we've had games like Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which has had like triple the amount of content.
Oh yeah.
And then we have Sword and Shield come out, and we're like, oh cool, half a national dex, Maybe they've put some time into other things. No, fuck that. We're postponing that for DLC. What the fuck is wrong with you, Game? Okay,
give us more money.
I mean, it's you've got to make the one defense I'll make in comparing it to the older games in terms of the pixel art games is it's a lot pixel art game development is like 2D game development. In a sense, will be a lot easier than the 3D game development because Game Freak is awful at 3D game development.
But remember that they also reused models. And
I'm not even saying that's not the problem that I'm suggesting is that they're reusing stuff because obviously it's Game Freak, but it's the fact that I don't think realistically Game Freak could ever make a game that has as much content as Heart Gold or Soul Silver or any of those games again in the 3D space, because one, it would take too long for their time frames even if they were great at it because of just how much content that is, and two, the file size would be huge.
There's also the what was it? Half the development team was not even working on the game. They had it working on their side project, which was like that was coming out on
Town
Switch.
Hero?
Yeah,
Little Town Hero.
So that also kind of like didn't really help the game, I guess.
I remember hearing about that trailer.
And then never hearing about it again.
Exactly.
That game had a horrible frame, like
apparently it was pretty bad. But anyway, I'm just going to quickly mention, because we have chatted a bit of crap on it, I do want to say some of the positives quickly, and the reason why I put it a bit higher is because some positives include, I really liked the Pokemon that they added this time around. For a majority, apart from the starters. Starters are garbage. But the rest of the Pokemon I really liked that they added, compared to the last couple of gens where I've been very mixed on them.
Mm-hmm.
Other things that I liked were just I like Galar as a region. That's my big thing. Is it's except for the wild area that looks like absolute dicks. The actual areas that the actual town areas that they've made and stuff like that look really great. And it's a well put together region, in my opinion. It's the one that it's the region I feel feels the most alive in that regard, because you have Pokemon in the background doing things, and it's just not two people in a house, and that's a town anymore. Like, they do actually feel like they are spaced out, and I just like that. The gym challenges I liked. I thought the gyms were alright in this game. I kind of liked the whole theme behind the gyms as well, like the whole backstory behind the gyms. I'm not too fond of the story, but the way that they worked the gyms into that game, having them be stadiums that they kind of fight for the places in it, a bit like a football league, I thought that was a nice touch compared to the UK, which it's based off of. I thought that was cool. I liked the gym challenges.
I think they hit all the good points with like the culture of Britain and whatnot.
They did a great job on.
I just don't understand the curry part.
Yeah, the curry part I don't get. The curry part I don't really get, but they nailed the UK as a region.
No, they nailed England, all right.
There's a bit of Scotland, Jack. There's a bit of Scotland.
I'm sure.
And and the starting town is Wales, and that's it. The starting town is Wales because there's just sheep everywhere, and that's about it.
Dude, there's a teapot Pokemon.
Yeah.
How much more British could you get?
But no, I do feel they nailed the region, which is compared to. In my list,
better than Alola.
It's better than a large majority of the regions, in my opinion.
Pokemon are actually memorable.
And the Pokemon are good,
yeah. Pokemon are genuinely... I think the designs are genuinely good in that game.
Yeah.
Which they haven't been for a while.
From a casual observation standpoint, the idea of regional variants, which I know was in the other generation before, but is a really neat idea just as someone who's passing by looking at them.
Oh yeah,
I like the idea.
They also went more. They kind of went more wild with the regional variants in Gen 8. Gen 7 was very much it's
Kanto.
It's Alola. It's all Kanto Pokemon, but because it was Alola, it's like they're all either ice types or they're all dark types because it's nighttime in Moon, and that's about it. That's all they did. Whereas they kind of did go out of their way to kind of do a load of different stuff with the variants this time, like fucking Wheezing.
Oh my god, Weezing's so good.
They made
Farfetch'd
an entire extra step in the evolution.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Like I said, the Pokemon that they did add, like in Gen 6 and 7, I was always annoyed at how few Pokemon that they were adding per generation. But then in Gen 8, when I saw that they'd actually put some effort into the Pokemon designs, I was like, I can accept the fewer Pokemon if they're going to actually make memorable Pokemon from now on.
I also like what they did with the fossil Pokemon, being basically you combine the head of one and the body of another, and you can use it to get like 4 different Pokemon. I thought that was really cool. Dracovish is great.
And it's also based on a true story as well, which is a nice little bit of history, which I thought was pretty great as well. But now, Sam, if you got anything to add that we haven't said?
Not really. That game, I rushed through it so fast and was so disappointed by the story that there's not much more to say, really.
I think it's been hard to get invested in the game.
My one thing with the story is it definitely had potential. They just dropped the ball at the end, really.
It seemed like there was nothing there, and then all of a sudden you're about to fight the champion, and they're like, oh, wait, we needed to add an antagonist. Here, have this random chairman guy be the antagonist for 20 minutes, and then...
Chairman Rose would have been a really interesting antagonist if they had actually just not gone from... Because he was an
didn't develop him at all.
He was an interesting character. Up until the end, he was an interesting character, and then he just goes kind of crazy near the end for no reason. He just kind of goes crazy. Up until that point, I was really interested in seeing how he becomes the antagonist, because they're actually making him a reasonable character here. They're doing a pretty decent job with him, and then they just throw it. They're just like, fuck it.
He was just a BBC in that game, was he
not? No, he was basically Richard Branson.
Oh, that makes more sense. I think about
it. Yeah.
We haven't talked about the rivals really at all.
Hop
Gen
on.
Oh, Hop.
Gen 7's poo poo. Hop. No.
Hop is
It's just how again.
Yeah, how.
And then you had Bed. You know what Bede? What was his name? Bede, was it? B-Day. B-Day.
Bidet.
Bidet.
Is he a bidet?
And he has a toilet, dude. He's awful. And then was it Marnie was the other one?
Marnie,
She was
yeah.
alright. She was the only one that I was like, yeah, she's alright.
They're all
But-
forgettable.
They're all forgettable, yeah.
Oh yeah, Team Yell. How could we forget?
Because they're forgettable.
I was
Oh, yeah.
The most
that's the
important
thing.
part of the
Anti
game.
Soccer fan club.
To be fair, I will say one thing about them. I am glad that they were pointless because I was like, I didn't like them anyway, and just to have the reveal that they're pointless anyway, I'm like, that's fair enough. The teams have just become pointless at this stage
Yeah.
anyway. So I'm glad that they acknowledge that they're just stupid idiots that are just trying to look out for their town or whatever. I'm like, whatever. It's better than Team Skull and them just doing stuff for the sake of doing stuff. And the same with Gen 6 as well.
Team
like
Flare
I love
trying
Gen
to
6,
cause
but
genocide.
Team Flare is just stupid. They're all stupid.
They are.
So I don't mind that they did like a kind of tongue-in-cheek thing with the team this time. I was perfectly fine with that because everyone's realised that they're a joke at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Okay.
Jeez, we're not even halfway through, and we're already at the 40 minutes mark. Right.
Gen 2.
Gen 2. Does anyone have much to say about Gen 2? It's fifth on our thing, and everyone put it at around either... Well, no, me and Sam put it in sixth. Jack put it really high. Jack, explain why Gen 2 is really high.
I think it vastly improved upon what the original games brought out. The fact that the games, like, the whole idea of how they pretty much doubled up the entire game with an entire region was just really impressive, especially back when it was on the Game Boy. Like, that's a huge thing to accomplish, I think. And they had, I think it was Iwata that helped on the development of that game.
Yep.
At that time, because they were.
He's the guy. He's the one that cut the file size in half.
Yeah, so that was really good. On top of that, they just improved upon so many Pokemon, adding evolutions. Of course, we have the babies that they added, like Pichu and Togepi and whatnot. Well, actually, no, Togepi was first.
Mantine was in that game though.
Mantine. Mantine's adorable.
Mantine's great.
Gen 2 also added in Dark and Steel types, which helped to the balance of the game against Psychic types.
Yeah, that's another thing. That was
a big
also
deal.
really good. I just
Yeah.
think that was great. The only thing I really didn't like about Gen 2 was like how Team Rocket were just kind of reused.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They
They were kind of used pretty poorly.
Yeah, garbage. That's
Giovanni's
not even
just like,
poor
nah, I'm not
garbage.
coming back.
Yeah, literally it is that. Come back. No, okay.
Also,
See ya, end
the
of story.
The remake
story,
kind
roll
of
credits.
kind of improved on the story by with an event Pokemon. You can like with Celebi, you could get like a bonus battle with Giovanni, which kind of
But that's
more
Gen 4.
backstory.
Gen 4.
But
That's
yeah.
Gen 4.
But yeah.
That doesn't
We'll
make
get to that.
Gen 2 any
We'll get to that
less,
beautiful generation later, Kyle. Don't worry.
But no, I don't really have much to say about Gen 2 other than it's good.
yeah.
Quality
It's
game.
good.
As a
we're just-
sequel, it's
yeah.
really good. It does what a sequel should do, improves on what the past game had established, and just
But
make it
then
better.
further sequels did better anyway.
Yeah.
So there you
If
go.
you want to play
Anyway.
Kanto and Johto again, go play Hard Gold Soul Silver.
Okay, cool.
the full
Moving
game.
on.
But with more.
We're crossing the halfway mark. In fourth place is Gen 5. Where we all put, where did Gen 5 get? Sam put it in third, Carl put it in fourth, Jack put it in fifth, and I also put it in fifth. So
Yeah.
we'll start with the Gen 5 likers, and then
This is
we'll
probably
move over to the Gen 5 hate.
this is probably one of the more divisive games
Mhm.
of
That's one way to
Pokemon.
put it.
This was
For sure.
definitely like the turning point of the franchise.
I remember a lot of people seemed to not like it when it came out.
Yeah.
From the chatter
We'll
I
get to
heard.
that, Hunter.
It
We'll get to that.
it really did. So points
There's
in
a
its
lot of
favor-
good points and there's a lot of bad points.
Yeah,
I
it's
definitely agree
definitely
with
like
that.
one of the more subjective games, whether you think it's good or bad.
There's so many good things and bad things I could say about Gen
Yeah.
5.
Right,
But
go
a
through
lot
the-
of
go-
but a
go
lot
through
of
the
it
good
ultimately
first.
does come down to opinion. I like my opinion. I really like the Pokemon. This introduced the largest roster of Pokemon at 156, and I think that the majority of the roster is very good. It introduced a lot of my favorite Pokemon, like Hydreigon, shit like that. The starters were pretty nice.
Crocodile,
Excadrill.
Can I disagree and say I think most of them are pretty underwhelming?
Well, that's
I
an
think I
opinion
can,
that you have.
I'd back up Ethan's point just slightly, but not because the designs were weak, but more how they were like rehashed ideas, like how Roggenrola was a Geodude and Zubat was a fucking Swoobat, and a lot of these kind of things. We had fucking ice cream cone, you know, people always make point fingers at like shit like that, and Garbodor, like
Garbodor is a better muck. I
will stand by that as well. I think some of them are actually really clever and good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just don't like how, you know, you've got your usual rat Pokemon. Like, I think they could. I think the
reason behind that was because the whole thing behind Gen 5 was it's the first Pokemon game that's region wasn't based on Japan. So they were doing the reason that they were reusing a lot of ideas where they're like, oh, what would a Western version of that Pokemon look like if it was in America? What would it look like? And for some people, it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. But then for other people, it's like, yeah, but at the same time, you still have these old versions of it. It's not like it's not like a Japanese rat's going to look different from a US rat. That much.
Another fighting type that evolves through evolution. Like, wow.
It's like, I don't think it was kind of like the pre-idea. It was like a precursor idea to Alola and Galar forms. But they just made them entirely new Pokemon, which I don't really agree with. Like, I feel like a lot of them just do feel repetitive, like Jack said.
The thing is, they are repetitive, but they're also better than the Gen 1 equivalent. Conkeldur's just a better Machamp. Straight up.
Why did we need a better Machamp?
Because Machamp sucks. Legit, he's terrible. When was the last time you saw anyone care about Machamp?
Pokken.
Exactly. Not even
the main game is like made for him. He's like Goro.
Yeah.
I don't see Conkeldurr in fucking Pokken.
That's garbage Pokemon, by the way. Ugh.
Anyway, let's go back to good things about Gen 5. So, one of the best things that I think is the artwork and just the sprite work in that game.
Yeah, sprite work is
phenomenal. I think it's the best looking Pokemon game still to this day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, some of the tricks they did with like 3D stuff with like the bridges.
Yeah.
It's just so nice looking.
Black and White 2 are also really good sequels.
Yeah.
And the animated sprites are awesome.
Oh yeah.
And they look better than any of the 3D models in battle that we've had since.
Yep.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with all that.
Also, the story in Gen 5 is probably one of, if not the best story between Black and White and Black and White 2.
Yeah.
I was going to say which one specifically, because I'm not huge on Black and White original.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've played them, so I don't remember all the little details, but
I think Black and White 2 does a good job of expanding on what Black and White 1 had established.
Yeah.
It's not
one of the major things
is
like the gym leaders actually being a part of it.
Yeah, the gym leaders are all really, really well done. They're all super memorable. But like as for sequel, Black and White 2 is a lot like what Johto was to Kanto with the new Team Plasma but it's not just like a full replacement for the old Team Plasma. Old Team Plasma's still there. And they're kind of like at war with, like, they're going against each other.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so it's like the beliefs of new Team Plasma versus the beliefs of old Team Plasma. So.
Tell you one thing I loved and hated at the same time. I loved the idea of Dream World abilities. It was a really good idea. It's very good to have Pokemon gain new abilities.
Oh yeah, hidden abilities were great.
Really, really good until they then introduced Blaziken. And then I hated it forever.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Dude, I'm still mad at Chandelure. He was supposed to get Shadow Tag as a hidden ability. Chandelure.
Oh, Chandelure's cool. It's one of my favorite designs that I've seen from that game.
Like, Chandelure had potential to be one of the best revenge killers ever, and then they just never gave him Shadow Tag. They gave him, like, Infiltrator, which sucks.
Wow. One thing I will say, I hate to poop on your positive party, but
This is what you always do. So
one thing that I want to throw out that yes, the world looks nice, but in my opinion, it is my least favorite. Apart from Alola, which I'm not. I pretend Alola doesn't exist because it's in its own little pile in the corner of garbage. Not excluding that, based on the real 7 generations of Pokemon.
Oh my god!
Very well put, Ethan. Keep going. Go!
It's my least favorite region.
It was a
By
really
far.
linear region, actually. It wasn't in terms of
Yeah,
like map
it's a massive circle, and I don't like it.
It was the start
It's-
of like the circular linear regions.
And I think, and I preferred the way that Gen 6 did it.
I
in
want to
my
know
opinion.
which developer was smoking crack when they went, you know what, you finished the Elite Four, now you're going to fight everyone with Pokemon that are like 40 fucking levels or higher. What? When that happened, when I was playing the game, I was like, did I miss something?
I just don't. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that region because I think one of the things I don't like as much about that region that I like about every other region is that they've done recently when they started doing regions based on Japanese settings, right?
Mhm.
With France and with Hawaii and with England, you just get the vibe that they're the countries. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it feels like they did a good job of going, okay, what makes England England? What makes Hawaii Hawaii? And it feels like you're there. With Gen 5, it's such a mishmash of like different ideas and concepts and desert and snow and everything that it doesn't feel like it's a real place. It doesn't feel to me like it's America.
I love
It
coming
just
out
feels
of,
like
was it Costello City? It was like New York, but then you just walk north and it's like desert.
a desert. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has no form to it. That's why I don't like it. Doesn't feel like a consistent. Yeah, it doesn't feel. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a consistent region based on what it's based on. It doesn't feel like particularly American to me, apart from New York City, which is in the middle of it.
Mhm.
Other than that, there's nothing there that screams to me, "Oh yeah, this is America." It just doesn't. It's just very forgettable. A lot of the towns are forgettable in that game.
That's fair.
Yeah, I
Jen
can
ain't
see
really
that
said
point.
England is my city.
It. I mean, maybe it's because but it's just like looking at. I don't remember what's the name of the first like big city in Gen 8. You know, the industrial one. I don't remember the name of it because I never remember names.
Motostoke?
Motostoke, yeah.
Motostoke.
Is it?
Motostoke is literally an amalgamation of the region that I'm from. It's like Manchester and Birmingham and Staffordshire and all those places like merged into one, and you can just tell from landmarks. Like, a friend messaged me and he's like, "That's the clock tower from the University of Birmingham." I'm like, "Yeah, it is. They just put that in there. It's just like they took landmarks and they just took little bits and pieces and they just merged it into like an actual thing, and you just don't see that with Gen 5, which is why I don't really like the region. I don't really identify with it.
Mhm.
But anyway, I can see why people like it, but I just personally think there's no real charm to it.
Yeah.
I think that's good enough for Gen 5, I would say.
I think so.
Yeah.
There you go. Right, coming in third place, giving our bronze medal away, is Gen 6, which I will have you know came third between me and Kyle both said it should be third, so well done, Kyle. And then Jack and Sam said it was fourth. So tell me, Jack and Sam, why are you wrong?
Wow. One place lower and we're instantly wrong.
Yeah,
Me
so
and Kyle called it.
Honestly,
Well,
I'm
the
shocked
numbers
that
don't
Gen
lie.
how
made
the
it this high
podcast
up.
works.
I honestly feel like I can flip 5 and 6 back and forth pretty interchangeably.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could too.
Same.
I'm the same, but I'll give you my region. My selfish region is the region.
The region is
Yeah.
really good.
The
It
region's
is good.
better.
For sure. The team
And I also
sucks
like-
though.
yeah. The team sucks, and I like the character, the little like posse of characters you have is annoying as hell.
Diantha was one of the most forgettable champions I've
Oh my
ever
God.
come across
Yeah.
in a fucking
She's
Pokemon game
awful.
ever.
Yeah,
And like Gen 7 was the fucking game that went, hey, look, surprise, we finally made the Professor a fucking Elite Four champion. Piss off.
I love how they did
Stop.
Superman though. My favorite part is he's like Superman,
Diantha's
but instead
still
of taking his
worse.
taking his glasses off, he just takes his lab coat off, and all of a sudden he's a different person. He's like, "Oh look, who's that wrestler person? It's definitely not the Professor."
Dude,
Anyway, back to Gen
what was
6.
his name?
Back to
It's like
Back to Gen
something.
6.
Did someone say beating on Gen 7 again? Oh boy, let me get my stick.
Oh, I should
This
have
poor
mentioned
dead
that.
horse.
Stop! He's already dead.
Not dead yet. Right, anyway. So, talking about Gen 6, starters are pretty forgettable.
What did we have?
Except
Greninja.
Greninja was not forgettable whatsoever.
Except
I know,
Greninja,
Greninja-
'cause we
Greninja's-
won't let you
And
forget him.
Greninja's
fucking-
great. Greninja's great. Greninja's a great design. I'll give Greninja.
I
But
like
I'll always say
Greninja's
is
design as
Fennekin is
well.
awful. Fennekin's evolution's awful.
Agreed.
Absolute
Buff off
garbage.
sucks.
And then as for Chespin, I've always said, and I hope
I
you
love
enjoy this,
Chespin.
viewers. I hope you enjoy this, viewers, because once I say this to you, you'll never unsee it, right? Chespin's evolution is Chespin, fat Chespin. Chespin got so fat he exploded and had to have metal implants where the rest of his body used to be, and that's his evolution line. Now go look it up and tell me, oh, you know what? You're wrong there, because that's what happened.
So I kind
He
of
just gets fat and explodes. There you go.
I kind of have a soft spot for what is it, Chestnut? Just
Chestnut,
because I
yeah.
like
Yeah.
how ridiculous it looks.
It's
I was
man,
really
you're
sad
right.
because I really loved Chespin, and then
I am
it
right,
evolved,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, rip.
Yeah, Chespin, fat Chespin, exploded Chespin that has implants now because he exploded because he was too fat. There you go. That's the
Here's
So
what I'm going to say about Gen 6 for myself.
go on.
It was the first region where Game Freak decided to start going, you know what? Let's spice things up a little bit. Beedrill, you're looking fucking pretty cool. Let's give you this thing called Mega Evolution. It's going to make you so good. That's right. Salamence? Yeah, we'll get to you. Right, but anyway,
Salmon, don't
this is
worry,
where
you'll get
I
there.
think the game started going a little bit jumping the shark. Now, Mega Evolution, when I was first looking at it, I was like, wow, this genuinely looks very promising. I like the idea of it. It's great. Alakazam, fuck off, you don't need it. Right, anyway, then we got to like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and then we
Then
didn't
Blaziken
get
got it.
anything really improved upon.
No, Blaziken already had it. Then the other two
Oh,
got
yeah,
it.
right.
Don't mention that one. I'll lose it. The fact that
I
thing
just wanna
already
say-
had speed boost in Dream World, but and they went, fuck, Sceptile and fuck it, what's Mudkip?
Swampert.
Yeah, Swampert. Fuck yous. Blaziken. Oh, you get treatment. You get a Mega Evolution before even we give you your remake. Now,
But Charizard got 2.
It's true.
Charizard, yeah,
So
well,
did Mewtwo.
Kanto Pandering and all as well. But the thing is, it's like, what
So
I
did
want-
Mewtwo. Don't forget Mewtwo got 2 as well.
What I want to say about Mega
Yeah,
Evolution
it's the
was
one
it
that
was a
turned
really
Frieza.
good idea, but I think it wasn't implemented properly. I think Game Freak just kind of started going to their old ways of being like, hey, remember Charizard?
They
No.
did. Because it's like, who needs a Mega Evolution? Let's think. Oh, the strongest Pokemon in the entire franchise, Mewtwo. Of course, let's give him 2.
Rayquaza
You know?
got all this shit. I mean, it
Let's
wasn't.
give
wasn't
him
Rayquaza.
two.
Yeah, no, like, here's my thing, this is why, like, out of the 3 gimmicks that we've had, which are Mega Evolution, Z-Moves, and Dynamaxing, the reason that, as boring as Dynamaxing is in terms of the concept, they just get big, the fact that you do have, like, every Pokemon can Dynamax, essentially. There's no, like, picking a favourite of, oh, only Charizard can Dynamax, and, like, obviously you have Gigantamaxes, which are different, but I like the idea of having at least with a gimmick where at least everyone can do something. Like, some unique ones will still have different ones, but it's like you still have something, whereas in Mega Evolution it very much made it so it's like, oh, a lot of your fights were just based on Mega Evolution at this point. Like, the teams were very much comprised with Mega Evolution in mind. I just didn't like it as much because it limited the amount of Pokemon that you could use, really.
So, Jack,
Yeah.
what I'm gonna say to your like giving old good Pokemon Mega Evolutions is I also want to say that other bad Pokemon did also get Mega Evolutions. Look
Yeah,
at
definitely, I'm
look at
not-
Mawile, for example. That
Yeah.
thing was shitty. No one cared about it. But now, with its Mega Evolution and its ability change, when it Mega Evolves, it now gets Intimidate as a base move, cut the opponent's attack in half, and then when it Megas, it gets huge power, doubling its own attack stat. So, Mawile became a very offensive presence that people needed to think about. Like,
But do you think Rayquaza gave a shit about that?
fair enough.
One thing I want to say about Gen 6 is, moving on from Mega Evolution, is they're way too easy.
Oh, yeah.
Both ORAS and X and Y are way too easy. And the thing about X and Y that annoys me the most is obviously you have a choice of not doing it. But for Hunter, if you're unaware, if you bought Gen 6 at launch, like most people did, you genuinely you'd pick your starter Pokemon.
And then they'd give
And
you
then 2 hours later, they'd give you a free Torchic. And then another 2 hours after that, you again got to pick a Gen 1 Pokemon, which means you could have 3 starter Pokemon within the first 4 hours.
Share.
And the experience share. You could literally have a Fire, Grass, and Water type if you chose correctly.
The Torchic, the Torchic also came with Speed Boost and its Mega Stone.
Shut up.
Oh no.
And on top of that, then a couple of hours later, the game gives you a Lucario as well.
With
and then
its
it's just like
Mega
you get into the point where it's like with its Mega Stone, where you get into the point where you've already got like majority of your team given to you from the fucking game, like without a choice. I can guarantee a majority of people will have played that game with Torchic, one of the Gen 6 starters, one of the Gen 1 starters, Lucario, and then 2 others.
Yeah.
And then eventually, because all the casuals will do this, one of them will be the legendary. So you've probably just got like the rare Aegislash or whatever, and that's about it. Like, it's like it was.
Also,
they
give you fucking Latios or Latias for free.
Yeah.
The main story.
So Ethan, I thought you were meant
with its Mega Stone
generation.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, but I'm a casual. I'm from the casual perspective, so from me, great. I love casual stuff. I also want to say riding on Latios and Latias to get around in ORAS was pretty great. I liked that.
That was awesome.
That does sound cool.
Yeah,
I wish they had brought that back for more games. Actually, flying over the map instead of it just being an animation was great, and I don't know why they haven't done that again.
Unfortunately, they gave us man-time surfing instead.
Hey, don't talk shit on my boy.
Back to Gen 7, being
All right.
Okay, right, let's move on from Gen 6. We put Gen 6 in third. We have a soft spot for Gen 6 here at the Gigas, so there you go.
Gen 6
in second place is drum roll, because then everyone will know what number 1 is, because we've said it. It's Gen 3.
Woo!
Where we all put it in second. These are unanimous decisions from the group.
Yep.
What is it about Gen 3 that makes it worse than Gen 4? No, I'm kidding. What's good about Gen 3?
I feel like we're only talking about negatives on every game so far.
Yeah, because they're all the same. That's the thing. The positives are a lot of them are the same.
We actually hate Pokemon.
We all hate
As we
Pokemon.
said at the beginning, who doesn't like Pokemon?
Jack, you threw in the punchline. We were going to say that right at the end. I was going to say, oh yeah, and by the way, we hate Pokemon and you just wasted an hour and a half of your time. That was going to be the end of the podcast, but no. Who wants to talk about Gen 3?
Is over.
I feel like
Gen 3.
I grew up with Gen 3.
I also did.
It was pretty cool.
Did. Gen 3's great.
I did not.
It has Fire Red and Emerald, and those other 2 that we don't talk about. But no,
Ruby and Sapphire, they're great.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really play. I played them like once. Every time I've gone back, I played Emerald.
Same. Yeah. Battle Frontier. Let's talk about the Battle
Frontier.
Oh
my god, the Battle Frontier. Why have they never brought this back after Gen 4?
Let's talk about Battle Frontier then.
God, it's so good. Such a cool idea. Basically, you had these 7 facilities that all had their own unique gimmick to them, but they didn't feel, like, forced, I guess? They didn't feel like negatives. It was really cool to, like, plan your team out accordingly to what you could do. Battle Factory was the best because rental Pokemon are great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed.
That's where I spent all my time as a kid.
Same here.
Dude, it was so cool.
Great. And even your opponents could have like shinies and stuff, couldn't they? Like it was super fun to just like watch what the enemies were gonna have and stuff. You never knew what was gonna come your way.
Like I never beat any of the Battle Factory as a kid, but it was definitely just a fun time waster, even if I never did anything substantial with it. Hoenn as a region is really good.
Yeah.
Too much water, but
it's a tropical region, really so it makes sense.
I'd like to mention how Team Magma and Team Aqua were like the first teams that were properly like This is when they kind
Threatening.
of started mixing the teams with the legendaries and building the story around it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with Team Aqua and Team Magma, they were genuinely like a threat. You know,
Yeah.
there was something to actually work towards. I felt like with those, and then it followed on with Team Galactic, Team Plasma. They were good, and then Team Flare was just.
They tried to cause genocide.
Yeah.
We just kind of glance over that.
I think with Team Magma and Aqua, they were like a good starting point for what they were wanting to do with
they were
like,
awesome.
the evil teams.
Trying to cause
the
like
characters
global
were really,
destruction.
really strong. The battle themes are so good.
Oh, the trumpets.
Why have I not mentioned the music at all?
Oh,
yeah, we haven't been talking about music.
Dude, the trumpets.
The trumpets.
They're so good.
They're really good.
I think the Pokemon introduced are really cool. It's a lot of my favorite cast.
Mm-hmm. The starters are great.
Starters are all awesome. Like, that's one of the few games where I'd say all three of the starters are really good.
Yeah. It's really nice having Blaziken without speed boost.
Oh my god. Get over it.
Brendan's a little fuckboy, though.
We get it, you don't like fun. It was also the first Pokemon game to give us two rivals in the form of either Brendan and May and Wally.
Yeah, Wally wasn't that great in the original.
For as irrelevant as he is.
Wally was good in Oras.
Oras made him
He was good in Oras. I don't think he was good in the original.
No, he was just he was just kind of there, but it was
He was just
cool.
a bitch that caught a shiny Ralts in front of you. You just sat there like, well, cool.
And then it's gone.
And then he never brought it back.
He fucking binned it.
He binned it and caught a different Ralts because you didn't like it.
But no, I think for a lot of us, Gen 3 is just nostalgic, and it's a good feel-good game.
Yeah. And Fire Red and Leaf Green are great.
Oh, yeah.
They're just above and beyond better versions of the original games.
Yeah, it basically obsoletes Gen 1 by adding in a really good post-game with the Sevi Islands, and also Elite Four rematches where their teams change. Lets you catch a lot of Johto Pokemon. It's really cool. Good games.
Yeah.
Play them.
And the legendaries in Gen 3 are great. Groudon, Kyogre, Rayquaza.
Deoxys, Jirachi. The Reggies?
Yeah,
oh my god.
The Reggies.
Can we talk
Finding
about
the Reggies?
visual braille?
Yeah,
Needed
that's something
use
that...
it?
Holy moly. Who would have actually figured that out on their own
I have no
as a
clue.
kid?
Because, like, yeah, that was like, what, 2002? 2003?
2002 and 2005, I think, is when Emerald came out.
Yeah, so, like, the internet wasn't, like, actively around at the time. Yeah. At least not to the point it is now. Yeah. But, God.
I had a guide for Emerald, so I think that's how I figured it out.
Same.
But...
I have a little Brady game strategy guide. It sucks. It gets so much stuff wrong.
Oh.
Dude, at on one of the pages for the super boss with Steven, it has his whole team written out, and then so all of his Pokemon are in like the 70s, almost 80, and then it just has Skarmory at level 56.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, Steven was such a good champion in Ruby Sapphire.
Yeah, he was probably my favorite champion still. He's so cool.
Yeah.
I like how he was involved with the story as well.
Oh, yeah. He was definitely a precursor to Cynthia, and, like, all the good things about Cynthia. And
this is the thing I really like about Gen 3, is it was just, it built really good, like, building blocks for future generations.
Yeah.
Before Game Freak started jumping the shark.
Yeah.
Later on.
Cool. Right then. So then in first place is Gen 4. Shocker, I know. But who wants to say about Gen 4? What isn't there to say about Gen 4?
Oh, there's so much to say about this generation.
God, Gen 4 is a perfect generation.
There's just nothing wrong, really.
No, it introduced the physical special split, which for me is the biggest thing in Pokemon.
That was the game changer.
That really was.
It made everything make sense.
Yeah.
It introduced online play.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge.
Like, back to Physical Special. Gen 3 kind of introduced it with Carvana and Sharpedo's Rough Skin, where basically if you used a special attack like Leaf Blade, that's still technically a contact. You would still take damage, but Gen 4 is where it said, okay, these moves are physical, these moves are special. Pokemon are good now. Like, take...
It wasn't just based on type.
Yeah,
anymore.
like, take Crawdaunt, a Water Dark type, introduced in Gen 3. In that game, Water and Dark were both special attacks, so Crawdaunt was terrible.
And his physical attack stats massive.
Yeah. But then Gen 4 came along and said, alright, Crawdaunt, here you go. All your Water and Dark moves can be physical now. No one's still going to use you, but you have it now.
Aww.
Dude, it's so
Just
sad.
slow.
It's so slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Gen 4.
So platinum.
Platinum. Look. Oh my god, that game. Right.
Jack, this is your territory.
I adore the story of Gen 4 like so much. Like even going like this is my point earlier with Gen 3. I just think Team Galactic were perfect in every way.
Mm-hmm.
They were funny, like genuinely they had some funny like lines and stuff. The leaders were good. Cyrus was an absolute bloody psychopath, and I loved it.
Oh yeah.
The whole I gush about that game.
Well, go on,
Platinum
man.
added a lot of really good things. Now, the original, of course, like original issues with Diamond and Pearl was the games were like a slog, an absolute slog.
Absolutely.
Not fun to play. Battles were drawn out for so long.
The surf
Platinum
speed was
improved
your
upon.
walk speed.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I
See, I like to
didn't.
forget about Diamond and Pearl as much as I love Gen 4. But Platinum improved so much and made it Gen 4 basically the perfect games that we never got ever again.
Yeah. Gen 4 was also another game where they introduced evolutions to older Pokemon, but it wasn't just like what Game Freak would do now and do like Kanto pandering. It gave to like everything. Snorunt got a new evolution, Roselia got an evolution, Sneasel got an evolution. I'm trying not to say the the evolution names, it's really hard. Rhyperior exists now, obsoleting Rhydon's existence. Rhydon fucking
Rhydon
sucks.
is the original Pokemon. He was the first ever Pokemon.
Yeah, and he's ugly as hell.
Hey.
And then Rhyperior came along and said, I'm the new standard. I'm the cool looking one now.
Magmortar's kind of there.
Magmortar's got a fucking arm cannon?
But Magmar's so much cooler.
Sam,
I don't know,
arm
I like
cannon.
that.
No.
Electivire exists. He's cool, I like him. The two new evolutions are nice, I like them even if they're not really that good. Leafeon
The
and
designs
Glaceon.
overall were just really good for like
Yeah.
the evolutions that they added on.
Even
on top
the-
of that, I think the actual Pokemon that were introduced in Gen 4 were brilliant as well.
Absolutely.
Like,
Cherim's there.
I know we were talking like a lot earlier on in the podcast about how Gen 5 like reused a lot of like design concepts, like with Rock and Roll and Geodude. Now you could say something similar along the lines of like, well, Staraptor's just another Pidgeot.
Oh, but Staraptor's so fucking good.
Staraptor's so good, exactly.
Like,
it's not garbage.
Compare Staraptor to Unfezant.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not even a
there's no
comparison.
contest.
And
Intimidate,
it also
close
doesn't look
combat,
fuck.
Brave Bird. Why
They
was
just really knew
Staraptor
what they
allowed
were
to be
doing.
that good? You catch it in the first route.
It was nearly good enough to be an OU.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
I got banned from UU because it was too good for it.
Then what? Bibarel is great.
Oh, they gave us an actual HM slave.
Who can learn
Oh.
like everything. The only thing it couldn't learn was the flying HMs.
And that's completely fine with me.
But that's fine, because Tropius exists.
Mhm.
Banana Dragon.
Good old Banana Dragon.
What else can we say? Right, so...
Heart Gold Soul Silver. Top tier.
The greatest game of all time.
Literally.
There's so much I want to talk about, but I'd literally be talking for hours.
Honestly. And Ethan
So
doesn't
trying to
have
pick
that kind of
topics for
time.
this game... Trying to pick topics like to talk about,
Try to make it brief.
it's not easy.
I don't think
Can't
we
help
can do
it. Gen
that.
4's just that good.
Actually, another thing, Gen 4 was the first generation on the DS, which was a huge improvement having the bottom
Oh my
screen to
god,
do
yeah.
all sorts of stuff.
All the quality of life changes it gave with the second screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then Heart Gold,
especially for battles.
And then Heart Gold Soul Silver introduced the touch menu, which I'm honestly shocked they never brought back.
Yeah, saying that's crazy that they didn't bring the touch menu back.
Ugh.
But yeah,
I don't know.
If you haven't realized, Gen 4 is our favorite gen. Wow.
It just has so much good going for it that we can't properly condense it into the time limit Ethan gave us.
No, we should probably do a separate episode on Gen 4, or at least you three should do a separate episode at some point.
Oh, that could be
on Gen 4.
That could be fun.
Yeah, just make like a list of things to talk about.
Yeah, just like you three can just have a little. We'll do that as a bonus episode at some point.
Because I only really got my thoughts for the first couple generations that we talked about, like Gen 7, Gen 8, Gen 1.
Yeah, after an hour as well, it's really hard to talk
There's just so much to talk about.
I just feel like with Gen 4, there's so much good to it, we'd just be talking in circles.
Yeah, let's do a separate episode on that then.
Yeah,
we'll bring a separate episode at some point where you three will talk about it. But now Hunter has been sitting in this podcast for the past hour. He's been chilling. He's been having a chill. Well, Hunter, chill no more, my friend. Chill no more, because you know nothing about Pokemon.
That's a bit.
You know nothing about Pokemon. You know nothing about Pokemon.
It's not untrue.
All right.
So
this.
where am I going? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. So I thought it would be fun to make these people suffer. Because I'm a nice person. So let me just quickly say some random words into my mic while I look something up really quickly, because I did not prepare this earlier because I'm a terrible.
You had a whole hour to prepare this, Ethan. What are you doing?
Yeah, four people right
I couldn't find one that would just give me answers next to the fucking. Okay, here we go. No, that's just I need quickly. I guess this is a good time to tell you that if you've been enjoying it, why don't you give us a rating on podcast services? You know, iTunes and Google Play have a 5-star rating system. Please give us 5 stars. It helps people find the show. And you remember, famous quote, what do we say, Kyle? If they can't give a 5-star rating, what do they do?
Don't give us a review at all.
Yeah, put it in the YouTube comment section because we really read it.
We really read the comments.
We read the comments. God, I can't find it. I can't find a good thing. Right. Okay, cool. Right, I'm going to ask you a question. And it's a very random question because I'm a very random person. I haven't really thought about it. So what we're going to do, second part of the show, is you're going to answer a question. If you get it right, you get to pick a number between 1 and 4. And then you're going to get a generation, and you're going to have to argue why that is the best generation to Hunter. And Hunter's going to determine, based on your debate, based on your argument, who's right. And then there you go. And this is Hunter's opinion forever, by the way. You're making Hunter's opinion happen right now. You'll forever think that this is the best Pokemon game. And
Unless I go and play them for myself.
Forever.
Oh, okay.
So, hope you know your Pokemon trivia. So here's the first question: which of these Pokemon evolves at level 18? Good luck, boys. Is it Marill, Sentret, Mareep, or Cyndaquil?
Mareep.
Okay, Kyle, I got it right first. It is Marill. Well done, Kyle. So Kyle,
we should do like a hand raise thing to like.
Yeah, you should. Yeah,
we're not all just like blabbering shit.
Unraise your hand. So Kyle will get to pick first.
Oh God.
Which of these can Pichu not learn? Present, reversal, rain dance, or lick?
Reversal.
Present.
Sam, do you want to give a?
Oh, I thought it was for Kyle.
I thought
no.
It's present.
What did you say, Jack?
Reversal.
Well, you all got it wrong. It's lick. So
really?
I thought present was Delibird's move.
I thought, yeah, same here.
The move paralyzes.
That makes sense.
On two
He
Yeah.
is paralyzed.
Okay.
Right. Next question then.
Okay, which this is just going to be random. Which TM is not a punch move? Is it 33, 44, 41, or 48?
The fuck?
Take
They
care.
changed. Wait, what gen? They changed by generation.
Legit.
Like,
This is latest gen. This is Gen 7.
Gen 8.
that's not the latest gen. That's the ass gen.
Yeah, it's the latest gen to funtrivia.com. Don't ask me, ask
Oh,
funtrivia.com.
What were the choices again?
41, 48, 44, and 33. Does anyone want to get?
All right, 44.
33.
Yeah, that's the correct answer. Well done, Sam. Right, we have a roll.
Hell yeah,
There you go.
gamer,
What a great section. Well done, Ethan. Great
I didn't
trivia.
even
Right,
randomize names.
So Kyle, pick a number between 1 and 4.
2.
Okay. Sam, pick a number between 1 and 4.
4.
4. Okay.
Oh
And
my
Jack,
God.
you get to pick a number between 1 and 4. Well, don't pick 2 or 4. 1 or 3.
1.
1. Okay. Cool. Jack, pick a number between 1 and 4. We're doing a reverse snake order here.
Oh my god.
Any number?
Yeah.
6. No, okay.
Between 1 and 4, please. 4. Cool. I'm gonna love to see that argument. Sam, again, pick 1.
I'm so scared.
1.
1. Okay, and Kyle, 2 or 3.
2.
Okay, cool. So first round is you guys are gonna have to argue which one, and I'm gonna have a timer. You're gonna each get 2 minutes to argue. Shall we 2 minutes or 1 minute, Hunter? This is your opinion we're basing.
2 minutes. Let's make it juicy.
Oh god.
Oh, 2 minutes.
Ah,
Cool.
shoot.
So each of you get 2 minutes to make a statement. Each of you get 2 minutes, and then there'll be 1 minute at the end between you for a rebuttal between each other, where you get to disprove each other's points. Sounds good. Cool.
So wait, is it one generation we have to explain that's shit and one that's good?
Yeah. So this one you have to argue why it's the best generation of Pokemon ever made. Okay, and it's starting off, and I'm not going to tell you until your timer starts, because then obviously Jack will have more time to think about his argument than Kyle, and that's not fair. So Kyle, you need to argue that Generation 1 is the best generation of Pokemon.
Okay.
Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go.
So Generation 1 is a game that gives you a lot of freedom to what you can do. There's really no restrictions put in play on where you can go most of the time. Occasionally you do need like an HM for progression, but outside of that, it's basically just as much of an open world game as you can get on the Game Boy, on the original Game Boy. The original 151, they're iconic. There are a lot of good Pokemon in there. There's Mew, who doesn't like Mew, everyone's favorite Pokemon. Also Grimer, he's a pile of sludge with eyes. I love him so much. He's my favorite. I've lost the point of this argument. Basically,
You got a minute and a half.
oh my god, it's been 30 seconds.
Yeah, you got a minute left.
So,
Keep going.
Hunter, wait, you've played Gen 1.
I have, yes.
Oh my god, what are some things you love about that game? Tell me why it's your favorite.
This is Kyle's opinions, not Hunter's.
Childish memories, basically.
Hell yeah, who doesn't love nostalgia, am I right? Charizard's my favorite. You like Pikachu? We got Pikachu. You like Raichu? He sucks. Put him in the bin.
Your
Pikachu
fucking
for
grandma's
life.
who Pikachu is.
He's worse than Pikachu.
No interfering with his argument, Jack.
I mean,
30 seconds.
Pretty sure seems to think that this is the best generation.
Dude, it really is. Think about Gen 2 and how it was just built off of what Kanto did. Like, come on, man. You owe Pokemon to Kanto's existence. If Kanto didn't exist, we wouldn't have Pokemon, and we wouldn't have angry fanboys on Twitter. What would we do then? Alright, I'm done. I lost the point of my argument.
Okay, you had 6 seconds to spare, so you're doing all right.
Cool.
Okay, so next
I
up
love Charizard.
is Sam, where you are going to be arguing for the next 2 minutes on why Generation 7 is the best generation.
Why did I get
3, 2,
Because
1,
we hate you.
go.
All right, listen, Hunter. Do you like the Pokemon Mantine?
He's all right. He's
Well,
cool, dude.
let me tell you, you can surf on Mantine
I've always wanted
to get to places. It's great. It's everyone's favorite feature. All right, listen, Guzzlord. He can scream really loud in that.
Oh, I love that noise. I've heard it before.
Please stop screaming into your mic. You're gonna make this a pain in the ass already.
All right, listen. Do you like the number 4?
A little bit.
Well, there are 4 islands.
Hype.
There are 4 kahunas.
Wait.
There's 4 of other stuff too. I forget though. They brought up the number 4. Yeah, there's 4 tapus. They brought up the number 4 a lot in the main story, and Kukui really liked to shove it in your face. All right, what else is really good about this game?
You're halfway through your time.
Alola forms.
There's Alolan forms. You got like weird looking Rattata with like a mustache. You got fat chunky Raticate. You've got Icy Vulpix. Dude, how the fuck do I
giant
do
neck
this game?
Oh god, giant.
You've got another 35 seconds.
Doug Dimmadome Executor.
Guys, how did we forget about Alolan Executor?
Yeah, we didn't talk about that at all. You got Colorful Monk.
Use it now in your own argument.
This game sucks.
You
dude.
know, Hunter, those are all Pokemon from Gen 1.
Yeah.
That's just how good.
You got to sell it. You got 10 seconds to sell it.
Lucamine's a great evil villain who uses Team Skull to her
Stop
advantage.
interfering.
Team Skull is
time
great.
up. There you go. That's Sam's argument for why Gen 7 is the best generation ever made.
This is unfair.
Okay, and next up, to be fair, looking at what Jack has, yeah, Kyle got a much better argument out of this one.
I swear if you got Gen 4, I'm done.
No, Jack, you need to argue for the next 2 minutes on why you believe that Gen 6 is the best generation of Pokemon. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey Hunter, how you doing?
Hey.
I'm ready to tell you all about Generation 6 on the Nintendo 3DS made by Nintendo. You see, Generation 6 was the first Pokemon games introduced onto the Nintendo 3DS console. It looks very pretty. It's been very well known to everyone that the models were very pretty back then, you know, and it still looks really good now because they keep fucking reusing them. So therefore, these are a really pretty game. Now, let's talk about Mega Evolutions. Do you want to see a buffed up fucking Salamence? You fucking got it. You want to see Rayquaza tear the fucking world apart, even though Pokemon's already introduced God in Gen 4?
Even
good
though
for
he
you.
could already do that.
Dude, Rayquaza is even more beefed up. He can fucking fly through space at supersonic speeds and fuck shit up. He makes Deoxys lose. Deoxys just loses their shit, or it's shit. I don't know what the fucking thing is. Oh my god, what a story. Right, anyway.
You've got a minute left.
That's fine. I've got plenty of time. So Gen 6 is a really good game. It introduced the first time 3D Pokemon. 3D. How cool is that? Like, wow.
I don't even need glasses for it.
Exactly. It's so good. Now, let's talk about Team Flare. They're hot.
What else do you need?
Dude, the games are perfect. Like, Greninja's just adored by everyone.
25 seconds.
That's no bother, Ethan, shut up. Right, so here's the thing, Hunter. You're going to agree with me because when you play through these games, you can do so many things. You have Wonder Locks, you have trading, you have battling, just like every other Pokemon game. Beautiful. Significant. Mwah.
Wow, Gen 7 had that. You
Shut up.
Wow, Gen 1 invented that.
My point is finished.
Okay, and you had 5 seconds to spare, so there you go, good. And now, finally, 1 minute rebuttal, so argue amongst yourself for a minute why the other people are wrong and try and promote yourselves. So there you go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, listen. I got nothing.
I also got nothing. These games suck.
I think I win this.
Gen 7 ass.
Gen 7's terrible. Let's just bash on Gen 7 for another minute.
Okay, no, we'll stop the timer then if you've got no rebuttal.
I mean, me and Kyle can go on. What did Kyle have again? I forget.
Gen
the
1.
Yeah,
generation.
Gen 1.
Gen 1
Gen
actually
1.
has some
Oh
good
yeah, it's
stuff.
forgettable.
The open world elements are really good, and that was a good point by
Yeah.
Kyle.
Thank you. I agree.
I like how we have Gen 6 rated higher, but we still don't really have much of an argument for it.
I mean, Gen
It's
6
just
gave
me.
us a lot of cool stuff. Gen 6 is another one of those subjective games where if you like the stuff they added, like megas, like the fairy type, it's all just like, it's all opinion, really. I personally do like megas, but if you're someone like Jack, who hates megas, you're not gonna like Gen 5.
I just hate what they did with them.
Right, anyway.
I hate
So,
what they did to
Hunter.
Rayquaza. He doesn't
Right,
need a
hang on,
Mega
right.
Stone.
You've had enough time. Hunter.
shut up.
What do you think? What's your judgment? Who won? Who made the clearest argument there? Who did it? Who sold you on the generation that's the best?
Oh man.
Is your new favorite generation Generation 6, Generation 1, or Generation 7?
Well, it's between 6 and 1. Kyle started off.
come
Sorry,
on.
Sam. You tried. Kyle's argument started off very strong, and then it kind of lost the plot a minute in.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I do that.
Jack made a lot of decent points about the things that were added in the other one.
I also talked about how hot Team Flare was.
Yeah, that was definitely very entertaining.
I'm glad you
So
enjoyed
who
it.
is it? Who won, Hunter? Who won?
We'll give it to 6.
Okay, so there you go, Jack. Congratulations.
I knew Rayquaza would
You're
carry
right.
me just like he did in VGC.
Congrats! But do you know what you win? Do you know what your real reward is, Jack? You get to go first in this next
Oh
argument.
fuck!
Oh,
So you're
baby,
arguing this
part
time.
2.
You're arguing why? Yeah, you're arguing why which generation is the worst, right?
All right.
So good luck, Jack. You now for the next 2 minutes got to argue why you believe that the worst generation of Pokemon is Generation 4. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Don't ever play Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. They're the slowest troglodytes of games that I've ever had to look at and play. You see, the pacing of the games are just unbearable. Have you ever seen the video of Blissey taking a close combat from a level 100 Infernape?
No, but that sounds
Blissey has the
hilarious.
highest amount of hit points in any Pokemon game, around 714 or so, I believe it was. I can't remember the specific amount. Now, the health bar, whenever you hit something in Generation 4, took about 2 years to go from 100% all the way to nothing. Now, the video in question that was posted all over Twitter and Diamond and Pearl shit posting or whatever it was, Sinnoh shit posting, it took a total of about 50 seconds for just Blissey's hit points to reach 0 and then faint. If you were fighting 6 Blisses in one battle, you'd hate yourself. You don't want to play this slow game. It's garbage. Diamond and Pearl, terrible games. Gen 4 is...
Say it.
Gen 4 is garbage.
We got him.
That hurt, man.
That
I
really-
felt that.
Yeah.
Is that
So what's bad about Heart Gold Soul
yeah,
Silver?
what's
Jack?
about the rest of the generation, Jack? You got 45 seconds, rest of the generation.
Oh, great. Here we go. Okay, Heart Gold and Soul Silver are just pandering back to fucking Kanto yet again. Like, why the fuck did they even bother keeping it in? It was the worst part of Gold and Silver. So why the fuck did they put it in? I'll tell you why. Because Game Freak are fucking morons. They're like, oh yeah, look at this fucking guy, Professor Oak, and his fucking 3 Pokemon. You want a fucking Ivysaur, a fucking Bulbasaur, Charmander, fucking Squirtle? I can't do this much longer.
15 seconds, make a closing statement, Jack.
Okay, closing statement. Generation 4 is an absolutely terrible worthless pile of shit. No one remembers it and always just wanks themselves over Gen 5 instead. Play Gen 5.
Okay, again, that's your argument. Fair argument from Jack. You did a better job than Sam with his argument on Gen 7.
I had nothing, dude. I had nothing.
Right, so Seam and Kyle came second in the last debate. Kyle, you can go second this time.
Wicked.
So your worst generation, you've got to now argue that the worst generation of Pokemon is Generation 2.
Oh, baby.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go.
This game is just Kanto pandering. It's so bad. Who's the final boss of the game? The protagonist from Gen 1. Where do you go after you beat Lance from the first game? You go back to Kanto. Koga's also here. And Bruno. Just rehashing old characters. Just no regard for anything. Didn't even try to come up with anyone unique. Who's the rival? It's fucking Giovanni's kid. Just Gen 1 slapped all over your face. Evolutions to old Pokemon, evolutions to Kanto Pokemon. Alright, am I done?
You still got another minute.
Nice.
No, you still got another minute.
Nice. What else sucks about this game? Team Rocket, the story, non-existent. What do? They take over a fucking radio tower just to get their old boss back? No, that's stupid. That's really fucking dumb. Saying it out loud makes me realize how actually dumb it is. They don't even have names. They don't even have names in the original game. Gen 4 remakes, on the other hand, great games. They gave them character. They gave them names and everything. The leader of New...
That sounds like a rebuttal to me. That's not allowed until later.
Ethan, shut up. You're wasting my time. The leader of Team Rocket, of New Team Rocket, his name is Archer. Have you seen the show Archer?
I have. I love that show.
I have heard a lot of good things about that show. This dude has blue hair and a Houndoom. Like, what more could you ask for? Houndoom's the... Wait, I'm arguing against Gen 2.
Wait, you're arguing for it now. What's going on here?
Archer fucking sucks. He's got blue hair just like the Persona 3 Pro tag. Just a shitty person.
Time's up.
Arguing in favor of Gen 2.
Saying good things about him.
There you go. There's that argument. And then finally, Sam.
Don't worry, Sam has to argue.
Sam, this is your time for a comeback. This is time for your comeback where you have to
If
argue.
it's Gen 3, it's over.
No, you have to argue to Hunter why Generation 5 is the worst generation of Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so Gen 5 has just way too many Pokemon. They just slapped any idea they could come up with, threw it in there. Fucking ice cream cone? Sure. Garbage bag? Sure. It's just trash, alright? The region is boring as hell. You go from a city to a desert instantaneously.
Preach.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, the whole region, too, if you look at the map, it's a fucking circle. It looks like dog shit. Like, why do you want to just run in a circle? It's lame as hell. Let's see. The rivals are pretty forgettable. Bianca's annoying as hell, and Shen's just kind of there. The starters are garbage. Snivy is bleh. Fucking Tepig Emboar is awful. It's another... There was the third firefighting type in a row that no one wanted. It was trash. Oshawott looks nasty. I hate that fucker. Let's see. The Elite Four is... Actually, the Elite Four is pretty good. Never mind. Moving on. What's bad about this shitty game? Let's see. I'm really bad at this game.
Yeah, it's hard when you actually like the game.
The legendaries. Oh, that's the thing. The legendary. There was way too many fucking legendaries in this game. No one cared about any of them. Like fucking Virizion. That thing's stupid as hell.
Landorus. Those weather jokers I've never understood.
The weather genies?
Yeah, they're just kind of there.
They're so cool.
Just genies. Like, what's the point of them? Yeah, the towns were really bad.
Closing statement.
Sprites are lame. 3D graphics are way better. Oh my god, this game sucks.
Okay, cool. There you go. Finally, minute left. Does anyone have anything that they want to say?
Yes, I have many rebuttals.
Okay, rebuttal minute starts now.
Okay, Sam.
Alright, Gen 4 is the greatest fucking game ever. Shut up, Jack.
First of all, Gen 4 is not a game. It's a whole bundle of games, starting with Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. So please check your facts before you try and,
Well, that's even better. That's more content. More content means
you
better.
You said more Pokemon was a bad thing in your argument. You said there's too many Pokemon being added to this game. They're just going back to old ideas.
Yeah, where's your rebuttal, Jack?
What?
Where's your rebuttal?
That was part of my rebuttal, yes. But then he just, butt in with Gen 4. Gen 4 is terrible.
Do you want to shit on the other two? Or...
Gen 4 has the Battle Frontier. Gen 4 has amazing graphics. Gen 4 has not
That's
vanilla.
great, but whilst I'm taking a shit, Blitzy's still dying.
Gen 4 has too much content.
Oh, he's got you there. Anyone
They
else? Anyone
put
else got
too
anything
much
Gen
else
2
to
had
say?
to
a
Gen 4.
literal another region in it.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
cool.
just-
Gen 2 just improved on everything that Gen 1 did in every way.
Okay, cool. That's enough rebuttal in there.
Thank fuck that's
So-
over.
Hunter,
God, I hate doing this. This is awful.
It's been really entertaining, though.
it's really entertaining. I think we should do these like debate things more. These are quite entertaining.
Please, I'm so bad at arguing.
So
I'm not a good
but
arguer at
but
all.
I'm sure by debate number 26 you'll be great.
No.
So, Hunter, what do you think? A much
So
better
all
showing
of these
this time.
arguments started it off pretty consistently, and then they kind of lost their way in the second half.
Mhm.
But let's see. I think Kyle's was probably the strongest argument up until he started arguing for the game.
Honestly, I thought Sam's was better than Kyle's.
Dude, I like Gen 2 too much.
But yeah, overall, I think Sam's argument stayed the most consistent.
Yes. I did better than the first time.
Yeah.
Okay, well done. Well done, everyone. So if in the end Kyle's the loser, well done.
Woo!
Well done, everyone.
Yay.
Kyle lost.
But it's
There
okay.
you
We're
go.
all the winners here because we got to hear Jack say Gen 4 was bad.
Yeah, someone
It
Called it
sounded
garbage.
like he was
Quote,
had to
Gen
put
4
down a
is
pen.
garbage.
We just
I
need
can't
to
wait for people to. I can't wait for people to clip that and then.
Yeah, we just need
use
to
it on
isolate that clip.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I hate you so much. Ethan.
and just play it all. Gen 4 is garbage.
I'll make it my sub alert, dude.
Make it my ringtone.
Text message every time.
Gen 4 is garbage.
Yeah, but there you go. So that has been our Pokemon review discussion. We'll probably do another. I'll probably get you guys together without me and Hunter, so you can discuss Gen 4 properly.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because there's a lot to say about Gen 4. Maybe
I
Gen
don't
3.
know, I think my opinion's changed on it.
Oh man, you swayed yourself.
Play yourself, dude, with all
You
these
swayed
short
yourself.
arguments.
Well, we got to redo the episode now.
Oh,
No,
no.
true. But yeah, on that note, this has been an extra long episode of Hot Games Only. There you go. You see, you didn't get one last week, and now you get an extra long one this week. So there you go. Over an hour and a half of content. You're welcome.
We can stall
So
for
yeah, this is
longer.
it. Trust me, no, we can't. I'm already late for something, so it's great.
Oh.
It's all good. We'll live. But anyway, yeah, this has been Hot Games Only. I'm getting up the new tagline. So give me a second. The show where we chat about everything that's hot in the world of
Oh, no.
games. There you go.
He changed
If
the
you
script.
liked what you listened to, make sure to give us a good rating on iTunes or Google
And
Play.
smash that like
Uh,
button.
Smash that like button on YouTube. Leave a comment. What's your favourite Pokemon generation? Why is Jack right about Gen 4 being garbage? Let us know in the comments down below. If you want to keep up to date with everything Hot Games Only, make sure to follow us on Twitter at @TheGigasYT or check out the YouTube channel. We upload every week when the podcast goes live, and it goes live on 5 p.m. UK time, 12 Eastern, every week on Mondays on iTunes and podcast services and SoundCloud and everywhere. You can go and get it as you are. So now we've got to go through the list of everybody. Hunter, where can we find you? Where can we find you?
YouTube.com/ReaperHunter23.
What have you got going on right now? You got anything cool going on?
Well, I started a Max Payne Let's Play. Work got kind of long, so I haven't been recording that for a little bit, but it's in the works. I'm also working on the idea of some Silent Hill stuff.
Yeah, nice. So if you like Let's Plays, then go head over to Hunter's channel because we don't make them. Not anymore. Not after what happened last time. Kyle, where can people find you?
Yeah, that was the last one to do one.
Hey, I did one too.
We
Hey, I
all
tried
done
to do
one
it.
except for Jack.
Ethan, I also
Anyway.
need to tell you, because my hard drive died, I lost the files to the end of Kingdom Hearts
Oh,
2. So
Oh, guess
that Let's Play's
finished.
gonna
Truly
stay in
sad.
purgatory forever.
Oh well,
because
it's
it
not
wasn't
like was
going
ever gonna
to
get
already.
finished anyway. Yeah, exactly. Kyle, where can people
You
find
can find me on Twitter, at KDavisSRL. Same thing for Twitch, twitch.tv/KDavisSRL. Yeah.
Cool.
Speedruns and shit.
Nice.
Krizash
Jack,
B.
where can people find you if they want to hate Smash Ultimate as much as you?
Or
Check me
Gen
on
4.
Twitter, Yakubi996. Thanks, guys. Real pleasure. I love Gen 4 though. Bye bye.
That was at Yakubi 1996 if people didn't hear him. You can also find him on Twitch as well. He's been doing a lot of Twitch streams recently, so check him out. /Yakubine. Watch him grind Wumpa coins for hours. And then finally, Sam, where can people find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/back. That's BACK.
I'm so glad you spelled
like
that out.
Sack and Crack, dude. There you go, like Sack and Crack. There you go.
Been streaming some dank Astrobot, going for world records.
Nice. And there you go. You can find me, I don't know, somewhere in a field. I don't know where I am. Twitter.com/WaterJames_. Still don't have that regular username. Triggers me so much. Or on YouTube where I upload every week, I promise.
Every week.
Every week, just like the podcast.
Yeah, just like the podcast every week. No, I have some ideas. We're getting there. We're getting there. But anyway, other than that, this has been Hot Gamers Only. Hope you've enjoyed. And we'll be back next week with some more. I don't know what we're doing next week.
Good question. Hunter, what are we doing next week?
What are we doing next week, Hunter?
Tell us right now.
You've had an hour of silence. Yeah, you've had an hour of silence. What are we doing?
I don't know. There are a couple of topics that I threw in the doc.
We'll do one of them
That's
then.
wicked. See you guys next
We'll do one of them.
Wii Sports.
Oh yeah, Wii Sports in review. We'll be sure to tune in next week.
When we argue which Wii Sports game is the best.
In review. Wii Sports in review.
Boxing.
Nah, dude, it's bowling.
Next week.
Tennis.
Tennis sucks, Ethan.
Looks like we've got a debate on our hands here.
This is my fault for
No,
mentioning
just
Wii
kidding.
Sports
This
the
is a
other
double header. Now watch as we talk about
You
Wii
thought we were
Sports.
done?
You thought we were done? Yeah, no. Okay, no, we'll see us done. Thank you so much for listening in this week. We'll be back next week, hopefully, with some more Hot Games Only. In the meantime, be sure to share us on social media and all that. And yeah, we'll see you next time for more. Until then, bye.
Peace out. Toodaloo.
See ya. Goodbye. Anyone else? Toodaloo.
Toodle pip.
Bye. Cheerio.
Pip-de-doodly-doo.